We're joined now by McKinney Boyd soccer coaches Meagan Wilson and Casey Osborn. Guys, welcome back to Sports Talk.
Thank you.
Well, it's good to have you here. Coach, let's start with you. Tell us some of the big names of either key returning players or newcomers this year that you were counting on.
Okay. We have three seniors that make up a very large part of our team this year. Sydney Dolzine up top at forward. Taylor Cobb, who usually plays in the attacking mid, but sometimes she rotates up to forward as well. Kylie Ross, who plays center back on our back line. All three of those kids are going to college to play. Kylie's going to Baylor. Taylor Cobb's going to Air Force Academy. And Sydney Dolzine's going to Utah State. Freshmen that we had come in this year that have made a big impact for us. Macy Cobb plays right back for us and has done an absolutely outstanding job at that position. Taylor Jordan has come in and played outside mid pretty much every minute all year long, and she, I think, has had 4 goals on the year, but as far as just being a kid that we consistently put out on the field, we never take her off. So she's come into her own this year, and we're super proud of her. And then Laura Malden is our other freshman that has come on this year. And she kind of rotates up top quite a bit for us and just provides a ton of hustle up and work rate up top for us. Very, very athletic kid, and she puts a lot of pressure on a back line.
All right, now, Coach Osborn, tell us about the people you've been counting on this year. Experienced squad coming off last year's state semifinal appearance?
Oh, very much so. Returned a lot of starters. I mean, there's a lot of guys to mention, and probably too many. But that's a good problem for coach to have. But starts in the back with Evan Davies, returning all-state keeper, done an excellent job. On top of him is anywhere from Haven, Trahan, to Hayden Brown, to Drew Smith, keeping our central back line intact. And then Trey Marshall, so fast on the flank, and Cole Verhoeven on the other side of the flank, who's definitely technically sound. And holding mid is Patrick Newman's been just great. He's a new starter for this year. And Braden Andrews, attacking mid, awesome. Cody Spitzer, clutch, scored in the last minute to Plano West to win it. Hayden Newell up top, leading our team in goals, and maybe assist as well. And then Kyle Bennett has come on really strong here lately, scoring some key goals. And then Brian Taffieri on the other side.
Now, let's talk about pre-district action. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but you lost last year in the state semifinal. Awesome to get there, but you lost to Coppell?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then you started your season with Coppell?
Yes.
Was that to send a message, or was that just pure random luck?
No. we want to play the best, and
Right.
we consider ourselves in that category. And the coach at Coppell is a good guy, and we respect each other. So it was part of the plan.
So you wanted to start the season, hey, let's start it off seriously.
Might as well see what we're made of.
Well, give us a quick recap of the pre-district action. It was a really short pre-district
Yeah.
period because such a big district, you guys had to start really fast.
It was one tournament and then one preseason game, then right out the gate. But ups and downs, trying to find the groove. I think we went 2-1-2 on that run before we entered district, but played some stiff competition. Had our only loss during that time to Arlington Sam Houston. So yeah, it was quick, but it was a lot of good learning moments in that time.
And Coach Wilson, you guys started out 2-1, and the loss being to Keller.
That's right.
Now that's interesting. Don't spoil the plot yet, but losing to Keller at the start of the season, did that give you teaching points to talk to the kids? Say, hey, this is where we really got to improve?
Yes, it absolutely did. That was a game. It was our 3rd game of the Nolan tournament. We did have some kids that were injured and also sick that day, so we were not full strength that day when we played. But there was a lot of things that we learned about dealing with adversity and dealing with, injuries or people being out of your lineup, and that we have to continue to play and we have to continue to make adjustments even when those things happen. And I think it was huge for us because in the district that we had to play in this year, there was not a single game that at one point or another where we didn't have somebody out of the starting lineup or something like that, just simply because of an injury or things. I mean, we managed to come out of our district full strength and healthy, but through periods of time during the season, we would be missing a starter for a week here or 2 weeks here or something like that, just simply because of an ankle twist or pulled muscle or something like that. And so I definitely think losing that game early on taught the kids how to deal with that adversity and to not have to worry, when an injury happens or when something happens, because we still have kids that can come in and step up and do the job. And get the job done. So I definitely think that was a huge learning lesson for our kids, and it's paid well for us throughout the district and going into the playoffs.
Well, and this year, I mean, we seem to say this every year with the district that you get put in, but this year's district, I mean, in addition to, the all-time champion or all-time leader in state championships, Plano West, now they throw in last year's state champion, Hebron. I mean, out of the district, we had 9 teams, 7 of them made the playoffs last year?
7 of them made the playoffs. 7 of the 9 have won a state championship in the last 15 years. Even Marcus, who did not make the playoffs this year, has been in the regional finals the last 4 years. So you have somebody sitting at home who on any other year arguably would have gone 4 or 5 games into the playoffs, and they're sitting at home not getting the chance to go. That definitely is a tribute to the kids and how hard they battled this year. I also think it's kind of a disservice to the quality of teams around our Metroplex that did not get in, because there are some quality kids that did not get to continue and play that should be. But I'm super proud of our kids and for the way they battled and the way they held their head up and got through that. We were as high as first at one point in district and ended up finishing third, and had a chance all the way up to the end of it to be in second. So it was just kind of one of those, it was just literally game by game. It was a battle, and super proud of the way they battled through it.
And that's where that depth you talked about earlier really had to pay off. I mean, you really had to have people step up every game, no matter whether they were the original starter or not. Hey, if I need you in, you got to play.
Absolutely. I mean, we rotated kids on the field for minutes here and minutes there that, maybe one game they didn't see the field, and then the next game they step up and had to play 50 minutes, and so it was one of those deals where at any time you get an opportunity to go out and prove yourself. And I think the kids really latched onto that and realized that, depending upon what a lineup looked like against one team one time, it may not mean that necessarily they play, but the next game they may play the whole time, or they may come in have to step in because somebody gets hurt or something like that. So it was definitely nice to have that depth. We needed that depth, and I think the team that will get the furthest in the playoffs, it's going to be a result of having a lot of depth and being able to get through it.
Coach Osborn, you had an interesting district season. Correct me again if I'm wrong, but no losses, 4 ties, but that was it, 4 ties. You were District 6A champs.
Yes, sir.
That's a pretty awesome accomplishment. Again, because you're in a district much like Meagan, and this is a tough district. I mean, all these schools are good. They can all play. They combine 2 top districts together for this one super district. And then, of course, you've got, I don't know, maybe the highlight of the year, the flip throw goal. I mean, that's an internet sensation. Tell us a little bit about that and your district in general.
It was a great accomplishment to win district, but the boys are still hungry, and we knew it was going to be a tough test, but that was just one of our goals, and we have several, and we're hoping that we can make a run and try to obtain our bigger goals. The flip throw, to be honest with you, we call plays, but I had nothing to do with the flip throw. That kid and his dad have worked on that for a while, and it came to, and we're like, well, we can definitely do something with that. And he does a really good job, and he's gotten much more accurate with it. So it's a huge weapon for us, and we love having it, but that's all the athlete and his father are putting time in on that one. So, yeah.
So you need all the contributions you can get. I mean, every goal counts.
Exactly.
Especially game-winning goals, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in the postseason, you won your first by-district game, beat Keller 1-0. So here we go. We get Keller again, the first round. I mean, were you confident going in? You know what? We had a few injuries. We had an illness when we played them the first game. Now we've got more depth. I'm feeling more confident.
Yes. I mean, I definitely felt like that was a game if we went out and played the way we had played during district, I felt like we would take care of it, just simply because I felt like our district prepared us for the level that game was going to ask for. I knew that Keller would have improved as well, and so I knew it was going to be a good game. I knew it was going to be a battle. Keller has some very talented kids on their team, and they're extremely physical. And I knew if our kids could deal with that aspect of the game and then just continue to possess the ball the way that we do, we would be fine. And it did come down to one goal. I mean, we got to play at the top of the box, and Taylor Jordan, my little freshman, she received the ball and took a girl on. And when she did, the defender got a little nervous and clipped her and called a PK, and then Sarah Norman stepped up and buried it. So, you know, that's something that we work on in practice a great deal, taking PKs. Right. And I mean, I didn't even hesitate when the PK got called. I knew exactly who we were going to put up there. Now, it was the first one all year she's had to take. But I knew that just based off of what we've done in practice that she would bury it, and she did. She put it in the back of the net. So, and that's, this time of year, that's what you need to happen. You need that kind of execution. So I thought she did a great job of stepping up in a pressure situation and handling that pressure and getting the win for her team. It's kind of crazy the second round matchups that are going to have. We have Midlothian, but then you've got Hebron and Southlake who have to meet each other on Thursday night, and then you also have Coppell and West who have to meet each other on Thursday night, and it's kind of what I was saying a second ago. It's kind of a disservice to some of these teams that in theory should be probably in your state championship, and they're not going to be, just simply because of the way our district's lined up and matched out. But it does open the door for some teams to get in and to sneak in, and if you do the right things and you execute on a day-to-day basis and you go after some stuff, for some other teams to get there.
Yeah, those sounded like regional finals. Yeah, I mean, those kinds of matchups, regional finals at the very least, and or state championship. I mean, those are top teams.
I mean, 3 of the 4 of those were in the state tournament last year. So, I mean, that tells you, and you're going to eliminate 2 of them before the second game and potentially a third before the fourth game. Before the third game. So, I mean, it's kind of silly, in my opinion, that they're having to play that early. But like I said, it opens the door for some people to come in, and as long as you go out and you execute and you do the things you're supposed to do, you get to go into a game and creep up on those people. So. And
once you get to the postseason, pretty much anything
is
possible.
Right.
But
that's right.
You, in your bi-district round, took on Denton Ryan, beat them 3-0. Give us a quick recap of that.
Denton Ryan was a good squad. We were impressed with them, and they got after it. They pressured the ball very well. They were more of a direct style, and you could tell that they were well coached because they were trying to put it in positions where our center backs are vulnerable at times. But we adjusted at halftime. The kids did a good job of listening, and we've really come into our own as the offense here lately, and we're starting to put balls in the back of the net. We just got to clean some things up defensively. But all in all, I don't think we played our greatest game in the bi-district round, but we definitely did what we needed to do to win. And I think that's a huge plus, just if it's a grind or if it's not. But the execution was there, the heart was there. We just got to play a little crisper and a little better moving forward if we want to accomplish what we want to accomplish.
And that leads to the area round matchup this Friday at Coppell, but you're playing Duncanville.
Yes. At 7:30 on Friday night. We'll have Duncanville and once again another well-coached squad. Coach Passos does a really good job with those guys over there. So. We're game planning as we speak. I'm sure they are. The thing is, it's March Madness, now it's April, but, any given day, anybody can beat anybody. Seeds don't matter. They were the 3rd seed, we're the 1 seed, but it's going to be a dogfight. They're going to give us all we can handle, and we're going to have to focus on the ingredients that make us successful. And hopefully we're doing a good job with the coaching staff and relay that to the kids, and we'll perform well.
And Coach Wilson, you guys are taking on Midlothian, you mentioned. Also Friday, but you're playing at South Lake Carroll, 7:30 kickoff?
Correct, yeah.
All right.
That definitely is going to be kind of the same thing. It's going to be a dogfight. Midlothian is known for having a very physical, direct team, usually a very athletic team. And so it should be a fun matchup for sure. We tend to be more of a possession-style oriented team, so kind of the same as the boys. If we go out and execute and do the things that we're supposed to do, we should be okay. But we have to be able to deal with that direct style of play and also the physical pressure that Midlothian's going to try and put on the girls. But I think as long as they go out and they adjust and they adapt to that, we'll be okay.
All right, so the Lady Broncos at South Lake Carroll, Friday, 7:30, taking on Midlothian. The Broncos at Coppell, 7:30 kickoff, taking on Duncanville.
Yep.
All right, well, that's McKinney Boyd soccer with Coach Meagan Wilson and Coach Casey Osborn. We hope you guys get to come back because state champions get to come back, so we hope we get to see you a little bit later. That's McKinney Boyd soccer.